3 nights after Musa killed the white antelope, our village stopped sleeping. Not just because we were afraid, but because something was moving around our homes at night. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Hooves. And this time, it wasn't just one person hearing it. That was the same night Bobasani disappeared. And after that, nothing in our village was ever the same again. Before Bobasani vanished, people still tried to lie to themselves. It will pass. It is just fear. It is nothing. But the morning his walking stick was found at the edge of the forest. Lying there, alone. No blood. No struggle. No footprints. Just his stick. That was when the truth settled into everyone's chest. If a man like Bobasani could be taken, then no one was safe. And that was when people started looking at Musa differently. The next morning, Musa stood in the center of the village. No one called for a gathering. Yet people came. Quietly. Carefully. Keeping their distance from him. He looked different. His eyes were red. His face hollow. Like he hadn't slept. Or worse, like something hadn't let him. Then he spoke. I will go back. Silence. One man finally asked. Go back where? Musa didn't hesitate. He raised his hand and pointed straight at the forest. I will find Bobasani. A bitter laugh broke from the crowd. You think he is still alive? Musa didn't answer that. Instead, he said something that made the air feel heavier. If something in that forest is causing this, I will deal with it. A man stepped forward, shaking his head. You already dealt with something in that forest. And now, we are paying for it. Silence fell again. The kind that presses against your ears. Musa lifted his rifle. I will return before sunset. But deep down, no one believed him. A few men offered to follow. Musa refused. This is my problem. And without another word, he turned and walked back into the trees. Alone. The village waited. But this time, it felt wrong. No one worked. No one laughed. No one argued. Even the children stayed quiet. Everyone just watched the forest path, as if staring long enough would bring him back. By afternoon, the sky turned gray. The wind began to move. Slow at first. Then restless. Old women whispered under their breath. This is not a good sign. And when the sun began to fall, Musa still had not returned. Night came. Still nothing. The moon rose higher. Still nothing. Then the whispers began. He is gone. Like Bobasani. The forest has taken him too. Some said it was justice. Others said nothing at all. And then, the dogs started barking. Loud. Sharp. Aggressive. Not the kind of bark for strangers, but the kind for something they could not understand. Doors creaked open. Lanterns flickered to life. People stepped outside. And then, footsteps. From the forest path. Musa stepped into the light. But something was wrong. He carried nothing. No animal. No body. And the way he walked. Slow. Heavy. Like something unseen was walking just behind him. Even before he spoke. Everyone knew something had followed him back. The crowd gathered again. Closer this time. Afraid, but unable to stay away. Did you find Bobasani? Musa shook his head. No. Did you see anything? A pause. Then. Yes. The entire crowd leaned in. I saw the antelope. No one moved. That is not possible, someone whispered. Musa nodded slowly. It was standing in the forest. Alive. The silence broke into murmurs. That is a lie. We ate it. We saw it dead. Musa's voice rose, sharp and desperate. I know what I saw. The noise died instantly. It was watching me, he continued. I raised my rifle. It would not fire. A man frowned. What do you mean it would not fire? Musa swallowed. It would not fire. His voice dropped lower, almost a whisper. And when it turned to leave, I heard something behind me. He looked up slowly. Something else, walking. That same night, another man changed. Ode. He woke up, walked outside, and just stood there, facing the forest, not moving. His wife followed him. Ode. No answer. Ode, what are you doing? Then he spoke. Soft. Distant. I can hear it. Hear what? The hooves. She listened. Nothing. I do not hear anything. Ode raised his hand, pointing into the darkness. It is walking around the village. That was when people realized the truth. This thing was no longer staying in the forest. More people began hearing it. Every night. Hooves. Footsteps. Something circling. Watching. Waiting. Dogs refused to sleep. They barked at empty spaces. Or maybe not empty at all. One evening, 3 men ran into the village, breathless. We saw it. Where? Near the trees. What was it doing? One of them hesitated, then said it. It was watching us. A pause. Then he added. It was watching the village. Musa began to change. He stopped sleeping completely. People saw him sitting outside at night, staring into the darkness. Not like a man keeping watch, but like someone listening, or answering something only he could hear. Then one night, he finally spoke again. The elders gathered inside his hut. Musa sat on the ground, his rifle beside him. It is not leaving me alone, he said. What do you mean? Every night, I hear it. Outside my hut. Walking. Slowly. He lifted his head. Like it is waiting for me. An elder leaned forward. Have you seen it? Musa nodded once. Where? At the edge of the village. What was it doing? Musa's eyes darkened. Watching me. The next morning, another man disappeared. Sadiq. But this time, they found something different. Hoof prints. Fresh. Clear. Leading straight into the forest. And beside them, human footprints. Not dragged. Not struggling. Walking. As if he followed it willingly. The village broke. People shouted. Argued. Blamed. You brought this. Musa said nothing for a long time. Then finally, I will go again. A few people gasped. But this time, his voice dropped. I will go deeper. That night, no one slept. The wind moved like something breathing. The dogs barked without stopping. And again, something walked around the village. Slower than before. Heavier than before. Closer. Before sunrise, Musa stood up. Picked up his rifle. Amina grabbed his arm. Do not go. Musa looked at her. Tired, but certain. I have to. Why? He turned toward the forest and said the words no one wanted to hear. Because it wants me to. And as he walked into the trees again, no one followed him. Not because they didn't care, but because fear had already taken hold of everyone. The sun had barely risen. The sky was dull, gray, quiet. A cold wind moved through the grass. And we all stood there, watching Musa disappear into the trees. For a long time, nobody spoke. Then one elder finally said it. If he does not return. He paused. The forest may not be finished with us. And deep down, we all knew that was true. Because this was no longer just about Musa. The forest had chosen all of us. Later, when Musa returned, he told us what happened in that forest. And this time, no one doubted him. Because by then, fear had already become real. He said the forest felt wrong the moment he stepped inside. Too quiet. No birds. No insects. Just wind. And something watching. He walked deeper than he ever had before. Back to the place where he killed the white antelope. The ground was still disturbed. But this time, it was covered in hoof prints. Dozens. No, hundreds. All coming from one direction. And all leading back into the darkness. So Musa did something no hunter should ever do. He followed them. The deeper he went, the darker the forest became. The air grew heavy. The ground softened under his feet. Then, he heard it. Step. 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 Hooves. He turned. Silence. Then again. Behind him. Step. 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 Come out. Musa shouted. But nothing answered. The sound only moved. Circling him. Slow. Patient. Watching. After what felt like hours, he reached a place no one in our village had ever seen before. A clearing. Perfectly empty. Too clean. Too still. And in the center of it stood a stone. Old. Covered in carvings. But what made Musa freeze was the ground around it. Hoof prints. Fresh ones. All facing the stone. As if something had gathered there. Waiting. Or worse. Worshipping. Then, he heard it again. Closer this time. Step. 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 Musa turned. And this time, he saw it. The white antelope. Alive. Unharmed. Standing at the edge of the clearing. Watching him. He raised his rifle. Pulled the trigger. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. And then, something entered his mind. Not a voice. But something worse. A message. Clear. Cold. Unavoidable. You broke the promise. Musa said his body went cold. Because in that moment, he understood everything. The promise our ancestors made. The warning Baba Sonny gave. The thing he ignored. Then the feeling came again. Stronger. Heavier. Now, the land must take something back. Musa slowly turned toward the stone again. And that was when he realized. This was never just an animal. It was a guardian. A living agreement. Between the forest and the village. And he had broken it. The antelope stepped forward. Step. Then again. Step. Musa couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Then the message came again. Clearer than before. One life, for the broken promise. Musa closed his eyes, lowered his rifle, and whispered, "If that is what it takes." But then, everything changed. The antelope stopped, watching him, studying him. And then, the final message came. Different. More terrifying than anything before. The one who broke the promise must choose. What exactly the one who broke the promise must choose, find out in the next part. If you enjoy African stories, folklore, myths, and legendary tales, this channel is for you. Subscribe to African Savannah Tales for new African folktales and storytelling videos every week, and explore the wisdom, mystery, and magic of Africa's timeless stories.